The most surreal part of the whole night was when I got home. I flew back right after the dinner, and I'm in bed watching 60 Minutes from the night before. And there's Trump in one of their stories, standing at a podium in a room that looked to me like one of the rooms and places we'd just been in. And he's ranting, disgusting, you're a terrible person. And I'm like, who's that guy? What happened to Glinda the Good Witch? And why can't we get the guy I met to be the public guy? And I'm not saying it's our responsibility to do that. It's not. I'm just reporting exactly what I saw over 2.5 hours. I went into the mine, and that's what's down there. A crazy person.
A fucking con artist is what's
doesn't
there.
Live in the White House. A person who plays a crazy person on TV a lot lives there, which I know is fucked up. It's just not as fucked up as I thought it was.
Dude, that's even more fucked up, right? Sorry, dude, that fucking pisses me off, bro.
And I have no illusions now that I'm back to work at my job that he might start a new list. Because I don't have a good feeling and will be critical about a lot of what he's doing. The trade war and disappearing people, ruling by decree, threatening judges, gutting the government with glee. But I also think he now understands I have a job to do, or at least he did on this night, because he said to me early on that he'd seen our last episode, which was the Friday before this dinner. And he said, I thought maybe you'd be nice, but you hit me really hard. I did. Because I'm not going to pull my punches that presidents get to propose a third term for themselves. He understood that, and without animus. That doesn't mean he's not going to try to do it. At one point, I said to him, you're scaring people. Do you really want to be scaring your own citizens so much? And I know now you're all saying, and what did he say to that? Honestly, I don't remember. But it wasn't, okay, I'll stop. So MAGA fans, don't worry. Your boy gave me nothing. Just hats. Hats and a very generous amount of time and a willingness to listen and accept me as a possible friend, even though I'm not MAGA, which was the point of the dinner. My favorite part of the whole night was we were standing in the blowjob room. We were. And he said, you know, I've heard from a lot of people who really like that we're having this dinner. Not all, but a lot. And I said, same. A lot of people told me they loved it, but not all. And we agreed. The people who don't even want us to talk, we don't like you. Don't talk, as opposed to what? Writing the same editorial for the millionth time and making 25-hour speeches into the wind? Really, that's what liberals have? He takes the piss out of everybody else, and we can hold ours? Okay, that's my report. You can hate me for it, but I'm not a liar. Trump was gracious and measured, and why he isn't that in other settings, I don't know, and I can't answer, and it's not my place to answer.
Yeah, but so the thing about it is, here's the problem, Bill. The problem is you're excusing the way Trump is all the time to the whole world. You're excusing it because he was nice and gracious to you behind closed doors in this personal visit to the house. Yeah, see, to me, it's the toxic masculinity, right? If you want to know what toxic masculinity is, we've literally just engaged with it. And what do I mean by that? It's like there's a man who expresses his masculinity in ways that are hateful and demeaning. He puts down women reporters. He puts down news organizations. He attacks people, fake lawsuits. He attacks transgender people. He spreads lies about them and immigrants. He's calculated and manipulative. He changes his mind on a dime. He's never concerned about the effects of his actions. He'll never admit he's wrong. He lies profusely and is just toxic and degenerate in every possible way. But then in small moments, he's really nice and gracious and charming And then other men see that little bit of niceness, and then they go and they launder his reputation. Like, for example, I said I grew up with an alcoholic, abusive father. After my dad would get drunk and put his fist through the wall and break a window and slam my mom up against the refrigerator and beat one of his kids half to fucking death, the next day while he was passed out, my mom would be cleaning up the broken glass, telling all of us, your dad's a really nice guy. He really does love you. He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it. Things just got out of hand. She was too hard on him. His stress at work. He's been under so much pressure because of the bills, because of how much all us kids are costing him. So we really need to be more helpful around here to make his life easier, because he really is a good man. And that's what it is. That's the codependent cover for these toxically masculine guys. When in fact, as a society, and especially as men, we should be holding other men to account for their most prevalent behavior, their public behavior, how they treat people with less power than them, how they handle those power dynamics, executing their job or executing their responsibilities, holding them accountable for the way they abuse and manipulate power. And we have to do a better job of that. I'm just talking in general, how we let men be predators and then we cover for them and assure the people that they're really nice guys. And we need to stop doing that. We need to not let men be predators. Don't let them be predators in the first place. One of the traits, the common trait of abusive men is they will end up having female partners. It could be a wife or an ex-wife or a trusted aide, but they almost always have a female partner that does damage control for them, where they go in and they cause the harm, and then the codependent female comes in, or the codependent assistant comes in and sort of like repairs the damage. And that allows them to continue being abusive because they never actually have any consequences for their actions. And it's a sick fucking game, man. That is so harmful. And as a kid who grew up in that, there was a particularly nefarious outcome, okay? Where when you're young and you don't really understand how the world works, but your instincts are telling you that this person, your dad, he's harmful. This is really toxic. This is not the way it's supposed to be. This is not good for you. But then your mother comes in trying to convince you that it's okay, it's normal, everything's fine. You end up not trusting your instincts anymore. You lose a part of your ability to have self-preservation. And then you go out in the world and a lot of other people abuse you because you no longer trust your instincts, because your mother has convinced you, or the person that's doing damage control for them has convinced you as a little person that your instincts that are telling you it's dangerous, that you're wrong, that you're the problem. You're the one who thinks crazy shit. This is actually all fine. And that mind fuck, like the therapy required to conquer that mind fuck, when that is like imprinted in your psyche after being conditioned like that as a little kid, that is hard to break. A lot of people never get out of that cycle. And they go around and then they become like a beacon for other abusers to come in and manipulate that. And we don't talk about this shit, honestly. But that's a real fucking danger, man. And so that's why when you see that shit going on, like, you need to speak up about it.
As you know, 12 days ago, I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a fucking comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every minute. So, thank you.
See, I will say a couple of things here. I don't like this intro, okay? Because he is focused on this idea of like hating every minute, but he's the thing that's really crazy is he's totally letting Donald Trump's criminality, his woman abuse, his degeneracy, his like stepping on the Constitution, being abusive in every facet, and he's like letting him off the hook. And he's like focusing on the people that hate Donald Trump. That like, no, when somebody's abusive and criminal and harmful and racist, you're not supposed to be nice to them, Bill Maher. People that are toxic to the core. But no, in Bill Maher's world, we got to be nice to the guy who's talking about poisoning the blood and murdering trans people with his policies. And Bill Maher's like, you got to be nice to the racists. Don't hate on him. That framing is fucking terrible, bro. The framing is, oh, the Democrats are hateful. They're spending all their time hating this poor, felon, racist. Really? I mean, his policies are getting people killed.
So meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. Spoiler alert, it was. First good sign, before I left for the Capitol, I had my staff collect and print out this list of almost 60 different insulting epithets that the president has said about me. Things like stupid, dummy, lowlife dummy, sleazebag, sick, sad, stone cold crazy. Really a dumb guy, fired like a dog, his show is dead. There's 60. I brought this to the White House because I wanted him to sign it, which he did.
Now, this is one of those things where Bill Maher, all the mean things Trump said about me, I took the list to the White House and I had him sign it. But when Bill Maher has somebody say mean things about him, like Bill Maher sits in his mansion, one of many homes with a fat bank account, with access to incredible health care and mental health care and the best therapy, physical therapy, emotional therapy money can buy. Okay? Bill Maher is not worried about where his next meal is coming from. He has a support network that is miles wide. And in fact, he has a whole crew of employees that would bend over backwards to help him out. And he most certainly has a personal assistant, maybe more than one, maids, etc., child care workers, you name it. So Bill Maher, having somebody say something negative about him, he is insulated in like 100 levels. Whereas when Donald Trump says really nasty things about transgender people, which he does at every speech, there are transgender people living in fear for their fucking lives. They're afraid to go to the bathroom because they might end up going to jail or get murdered or get raped, which is really common. And they're walking out into a world that is hostile towards them because the most powerful guy on earth is using his presidential pulpit to spread hatred towards the trans people and towards the immigrants. And by Bill Maher having Trump sign this list of insults, that's emboldening Donald Trump. That's like telling Trump that you insulting people is all just a big joke. You using your presidential pulpit to insult people is like something where they should be coming and asking for your autograph. It's so cute and funny, but it's not. There are people that suffer real fucking harm because of his insulting ways. And what's more is other bullies of various ages and demeanors see Donald Trump and see everybody laughing about him being an asshole, and they go out and are assholes to people that have less power than them. And it spreads to where you then have groups of people just running around being assholes, spreading negativity and harmful vibes to emulate this fucking douchebaggy person. And he does it unprovoked, okay? It's not like somebody goes in there and verbally attacks him and he parries back, you know, that would be understandable. If Trump went somewhere and somebody just started screaming a whole bunch of shit at them and he like laid into that person, it would be totally forgivable. But like Donald Trump goes to a press conference almost every week, a woman will ask him a question, a woman reporter who's been reporting in the news longer than he's been in politics, and he'll berate her. He'll say she's low intelligence. He'll fucking put her down. He'll maybe wave her off and refuse to talk to her and demean her in front of a bunch of people, and they all laugh and shit. He abuses his power every step of the way. And like, dude, somebody should take the fucking 9-iron, bro. He needs a fucking 9-iron. Oh! Trumpy's like, oh, where's my neck? Oh, you hit me with a 9-iron. Oh. Dude, it's gnarly, dude. Yes, he punches down regularly.
Just for starters, he laughs. I'd never seen him laugh in public, but he does, including at himself. And it's not fake. Believe me, as a comedian of 40 years, I know a fake laugh when I hear it. And I thank you for them. I'm telling you what happened. At one point, we were walking through his amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying, wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that. He didn't get mad. He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look,
So let's divine that. Let's pause right there for a sec. Because Bill is basically, you saw nobody clap there. So Bill is saying when they were in private, Trump admitted he lost in 2020. But then Trump walks around lying about it every time he's on camera and being a douche about it, and $787 million lawsuit with Fox, and umpteen lawsuits, fake ones, chewing up court time and dockets all across the country, and years of people creating conspiracy theories that now get attached to everything. And yes, people died. And Bill is saying he doesn't even really believe all that. That's all like bluster and fake, and all like some sort of incredibly harmful and toxic performance. Yeah, that makes him worse. That makes him worse. That means he goes out into the world trying to be toxic and harmful for the sake of being toxic and harmful. It means he's even more disingenuous and unbelievable and untrustworthy than we thought he was. It's like he is the least trustworthy person on the planet. Like, oh my God, dude, it's fucking bizarre, bro. Dude, Bill Maher, this guy, bro, he's doing the bend the knee, fillet the Trump, kiss the ring. You know, massage, 2-finger massage of the old prostate.
Get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is on the world stage. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy. Bob, Kid Rock, told me.
Oh, yeah, sociopath. Oh my God, a sociopath appeared like a great guy. You know what's funny? Let me just say, Ted Bundy's girlfriend and her daughter thought Ted Bundy was incredible. He was nice. He had a great relationship with the daughter. He was caring. He worked at a suicide hotline. He was warm and welcoming. And everybody who knew Ted Bundy, when he got arrested in Utah, the church official, the head of the Mormon church that he went to, was like, Ted didn't do this. There's no way Ted did this. Ted is like the smartest, nicest, most caring member of the entire congregation. That is what sociopathic narcissists do. That's how they get away with being sociopaths. Come on, bro. Bill. Jesus Christ.
The night before, he said, if you want to get a word in edgewise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected. People who don't look you in the eye.
Let's do the tug, Bill.
People who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing. People whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what? None of that with him.
Oh.
And he mostly steered the conversation to what?
He was a perfect, beautiful, beautiful man. He was the greatest, nicest, most cordial man I've ever met. Most receptive, best listener, best tugger.
None of that with him.
None of
And he
that.
mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this?
Oh, yeah.
I know. Your mind is blown. There were so many moments when I hit him with a joke or contradicted something, and no problem. At dinner, he was asking me about the nuclear situation in Iran in a very genuine, hey, I think you're a smart guy, I want your opinion sort of way. And I said, well, obviously you're privy to things about it, I'm not, but for what it's worth, I thought the Obama deal was worth letting play out because we made Iran destroy 98% of the uranium, and they were 15 years away from a bomb. And then I said to him, but we got rid of that. You got rid of that. He didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. I told him I thought parts of his plan for Gaza were wacky, but that I had supported him in the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of hell. I told him he was wrong when he tweeted the night before that I was critical of all things Trump. Not true. Check the tapes. Moving Israel's embassy to Jerusalem, loved it. The border did need to be controlled. I'm glad the cops are getting their morale back. DEI had gone too far. Biological men shouldn't be playing women's sports.
Dude, no biological men are playing women's sports.
Should pay for their defense. And of course, it makes sense that...
Dude, that one fucking grinds me, bro. Right? That one fucking grinds me. Yeah, the Gaza being Dubai is fucked up. That's like us saying, you know, Bill Maher, like all the property you own, Bill, could be Dubai. How do you like that, Bill? We're gonna take all your property and your money and everything that belongs to you, and we're gonna make it Dubai for some other people, and then we're gonna fucking send you to like Honduras and, you know, put you on a ranch down there. How do you like that, Bill? How's that for Gaza? You fucking piece of shit. You fucking freak. You like, oh yeah, dude, you're not even remotely concerned because it's not your land. It's not your money. It's not your livelihood. It's not your home that's being taken. You fucking piece of shit. God damn, bro. Bill. Oh, you fucking piece of shit. Where's my neck? No. Dude.
Arab countries should take in Arab refugees, like the million Syrians who wound up in Germany when Saudi Arabia took none. He said to me, you're right, they took none. I said, well, you should remind your boyfriend in Saudi Arabia that the next time you see him. He laughed. I never felt...
He laughed. Dude, nobody's ever seen Trump laugh. Dude, this is pretty cringe, dude. It is like the racism and the complete disregard for humanity. And what's more, even if you look at just the base substantive statement, Bill Maher is saying to the people that Trump is in charge of protecting and taking care of as president, he rants and he raves and he lies and he blusters and he shits on people and he calls them names and he harms them and he does all this nasty shit. Mean. But if you're wealthy enough to like get an entrance to his home, then he loves you. Everybody that is in that small crust of people that come into his house, that are in his inner circle, he is nice and gracious and caring to them. And then he's a complete fucking douchebag, hateful, spiteful, and filled with retribution to everyone else. And that's a real problem. That's part of the fucking problem that we have with our country is we don't have anybody that cares about the people that aren't the wealthiest motherfuckers out there. And just the whole The whole substance of this is just trashy and antithetical to what the job of a president is. Because the job of the president is not to hobnob with millionaires and billionaires because they're going to give him free TV jerk-off time. The job of the president is to be going into the inner cities and shaking hands with people that are working hard there and trying to help them get money invested. It's the job of the president is to go to Flint, Michigan and spearhead getting rid of the lead pipes, to go to West Virginia and talk to the people there that are struggling with drug addiction, put his hand on their shoulder and say, you know what, I believe in you. I'm going to get you some help. That's the fucking job of the president, not to like jerk off a pseudo centrist like Bill Maher, so Bill Maher's show becomes a hand job and prostate massage for his fucking psychosis.
And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of why the Democrats are so unpopular these days.
Dude, and again, fuck you, Bill. With the narrative, the only reason the Democrat popularity is low is because we're mad that they're not taking a bat to his fucking skull, metaphorically. Okay? Because guess what, Bill? Your unpopular Democrats just fucking kicked the shit out of these guys in Wisconsin. You, Bill. $30 million of Elon. You got your asses kicked. Right? But no, you're going to run with the narrative. Ooh, 29% popularity. Yeah, it's because we want somebody taking a foam 9-iron to Trump's fucking skull and not doing an ass-kiss prostate massage like you with the fucking, I can see the bronzer on your lips, dude. Jesus. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.